Turn me up. Turn me up in my headphones.
Turn me up, cuz.
Turn me up.
You're number 2 or 3?
Two.
Yeah, I'm 2. Yeah. Turn me up in my headphones. I still can't hear it.
No,
Turn
I
it
think
up.
that's
There we
me.
go. No, there we go.
Oh,
We're good.
shoot.
That was it. Turn back. Yeah.
You are so loud.
Well, I can't hear myself. I'm trying to hear myself.
Yeah, but you're really loud in my headphones.
I'll turn me down in her headphones.
I can't do individual channels.
What is wrong with you, Tim?
It is not me.
We
Okay, well,
spent
just
all
turn
this
mine
money
down
on a
overall.
soundboard, and you can't.
How about now? Is Chris still too
Is that
loud?
is that better?
No, that's good.
All right.
Okay. And also, let me just turn him down here, I guess. He is loud.
Yeah, I am. I just want to be able to hear
You've
myself.
been getting louder as this show has progressed.
He's getting passionate. Okay.
Get-
Oh, wait. Turn
get
me up
more
back.
confident.
Hold on. Okay, I think I'm loud too.
Cell phones, pagers.
Harley, I need you to say something mad at Chris so you can raise your voice a little bit.
Chris, you got.
Wow. That was super hurtful.
This is the Always More podcast.
Hello and hello. It is May 4th. May it always be with you. And welcome to the Always More podcast, where we believe there's always more room at the table for honest questions, meaningful conversation, and deeper understanding. Today on the pod, we are talking about fruit baskets. As per usual, Star Wars, old school tech, the most boring person in fiction, and so much more. But first, I am your host, Christopher Ford. Sitting next to me is Harley Bianco.
Whoop.
And right across from me is Timothy Lichty.
Hello, hello.
Probably the two greatest people on the face of the planet, and one who is
Wow.
all right. I'll let you guys figure out who's who. I'm just kidding. I'm the one that's all right. Anyways, banter. So we're gonna banter. a little bit.
Banter.
Yeah, because you wrote banter in the notes, so we have to banter. Tim is very thorough about his notes, guys. He wants banter, so we're gonna banter a little bit.
We don't have to. It's just there as a recommendation.
As a recommendation, all right, we'll skip the banter then.
No, I want to banter.
What do you want to banter about? Let's banter.
Banter about your new tattoo, man. It looks great.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
So I got a new tattoo, and it's supposed to be this really beautiful woman that I met one time and kept meeting. She's pretty great.
Yeah. She gave you a kid.
And then, like, married you.
At least one. At least once. No, I got it's a bohemian woman modeled after my wife. And when we showed the picture to Ellie, she goes, "That's a mama." It was really cute. I got a video of that too. But he literally just went on my Instagram, pulled a picture of Janelle, traced her face, and turned it into a tattoo.
Oh,
so that
that's
was pretty
great.
cool.
That's
That's really good.
I got this as part of research for our next episode.
That's right.
So stick around for that because that'll be fun.
Yeah.
It still stings a little bit, but
How bad?
it really wasn't that bad.
I mean, how bad does it sting now?
Oh, not bad at all. It's just every now and then I get like a little tinge, like I just got bit by a mosquito.
Right, yeah.
So I just look at it. It's fine. We're good. Also, my son Tyler gave me some like really cool tattoo cream,
cool.
Mad Rabbit Tattoo Aid, and it works pretty well.
It's like a jackalope.
Jackalope.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But we did this whole thing in one shot because I ain't no punk.
Period.
I sat there, did the. A lot of people say the outline is the worst part, and the outline is bearable. But right after that, you take a couple of seconds to take a break while he loads up the ink.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the skin gets tender.
Yeah.
So when he came back for the shading, it was so much worse than the outline. So he did all the shading, and most of her hair is black. So that was
Solid.
a lot. And then came back and did the color. He put a little bit of purple in her eyes because when she was a kid, she really wanted purple eyes. She had purple eyes, is what she tells everyone. So there's a fun story about that. But he put just a little bit of purple in there and then blended it so you can really see he did a really good job on her eye color.
That's really good, man.
And I really like it.
Wow.
Josh Snyder at Iron Right Tattoo. If you guys are looking for tattoos, go get one.
There you
Tell him
go.
I sent you. Anyway,
Cool.
so there's your banter.
Manta.
There you go. Banter.
Banter. All right, guys. So let's jump right on into this thing because I think today's pod is going to run a little bit long if we don't.
Facts.
Let's start with our Rec and Rev. It's part of the show where we recommend and review a couple of things for you guys. Let's start it off with the always popular Harley.
Harley.
Okay, so I just recently started a new anime, and it's called Fruits Basket. and it's basically about like
Fruit baskets.
no, fruits basket.
Is it really?
Fruit
Because that's really
baskets.
annoying.
Yeah, it's fruits basket.
Fruits
Oh.
basket.
Yeah,
Makes me shiver.
You know, grammatically that makes more sense though, because it's one basket
of fruits.
for many fruits. It is a basket of fruits. A fruits basket.
but you're describing the basket, not the fruits. The adjective comes before.
Yes, but if there's only one basket, it's not fruit baskets. It's a basket of fruits.
The amount of fruit is irrelevant. It's a basket that contains fruit.
But why would it be fruit baskets if there's only one basket?
Because isn't fruit already plural?
Well, so is fruits. It's like fish and fishes. It can be one of. It can be either.
No, you're not getting
Tell
this
us
one.
about this anime. Tell us about this anime.
So basically, it's about this family who they all have a Chinese zodiac or like a like the Asian zodiacs of like each year. So there's like the bull and the or is there the bull? I think there's a bull. No, there's definitely a boar. There's a snake, cat, dog, rat.
Rooster, dragon, tiger.
Yes, stuff like that.
There's a bull. Or it's an ox, but
There we go. That's what I was thinking of. And so each member of this family, and it's like ongoing kind of thing throughout generations, they all have like a zodiac animal. And so like if a member of like the opposite sex like hugs them, then they turn into their zodiac animal for like that moment. But it's really cute. Oh my God, instant serotonin every time I watch it. It's basically follows this girl and how she like becomes friends with all of them and gets really close, and they begin to like open up to her because they're all like super reserved because they hate this like curse on them and da 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 da. Very cute. Highly recommend if you just want something to, like
little
wholesome.
slice of life,
Yeah.
wholesomeness,
Yeah.
with a little bit of fantasy to it.
Yeah, and just the do you call them graphics? What do you call them when it comes to anime? Just the art.
The animation style.
The animation style
Yeah.
is phenomenal. Oh my gosh, it's like that aesthetically pleasing like thing you'd like see on Tumblr, or like you see a GIF, and is it a GIF or a
It's
GIF?
a GIF.
Yeah.
A GIF.
Graphics.
Sorry, my brain
And
is.
if anybody
it's
wants to come into
almost
these
finals.
comments and fight me, it's not going to go well for you.
It's
It is a graphics interface.
my brain. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyways, it's very good. Very good for the.
Highly recommend.
Yeah, so good.
Picasso.
Picasso.
I like it. Picasso. All right. Tim, what do you got for us?
Okay, so I've been waiting for this movie. I've been waiting for a long time because look, say what you want about him. Nicolas Cage is a legend.
He was the real national treasure all along.
All along. Nicolas Cage, he is one of the weirdest dudes on the earth.
I love Nick Cage.
but he's just lovable.
What is
I
that
love him
scene
more
in?
than life.
There's a scene in freaking what is it? Ghost Rider. Is that what the movie's called?
Yeah.
And the girl's getting talked to, and she's like, "How could like he get somebody like you?" Blah 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 blah. And like it pans to Nicolas Cage, and he's just sitting there making that smiling face that he always does. Oh, it's so gross.
Back on that in a second on
okay.
Ghost Rider because I got something interesting to say about that movie. But yeah, so Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal,
Oh.
Daddy. He is. He is.
I don't like that you said that.
Look, look, he is a beautiful man. I love him. I loved him in Narcos and obviously in The Mandalorian. And he's just a
Sure.
beautiful, wonderful actor.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just don't like that you said it.
Okay,
it
that's
sounded
fine.
weird. It sounded weird hearing you call him
The only
daddy.
reason why I'm saying this because that's all I've been seeing on TikTok is like his interview he did with Vanity and talking about daddy and everything. That's the only reason why. Anyways,
Everybody calls him daddy. It's fine.
right.
I just don't like that you did it.
Well, it's funny because him and Oscar Isaac have like this funny relationship where they're friends, but like they keep playing like who's the actual daddy and like that's a whole. Anyways, it's a thing. It's a thing.
I'll take your word for that.
So there's a movie that came out called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and it's all about Nick Cage starring as Nick Cage, and it is exactly what you would think. And I was worried because I started seeing really good reviews coming out. I was like, I hope I don't have my hopes up too high. No, you can't. This movie is extremely meta. It is so into itself, and it's so into Nick Cage. It is.
Who wrote this movie? That's my question.
I can't remember, but they did
Was
an
it Nick
amazing.
Cage?
No, it was. He makes fun of himself. He makes fun of like the movie makes fun of itself. It is just so. It's so well made and it's so wonderful. And Pedro, I was watching this. I'm like, I'm watching The Mandalorian right. Like I'm watching the actor Din Djarin.
So for this movie, it's just Nick Cage is the only actor in the movie playing himself.
Yes.
Everybody else is like actual characters.
Correct. But
I'm so pumped to watch this movie.
But Pedro did such an incredible job. Like I love Nick Cage, and he was good in this. But Pedro for me just stole the show because he. So in the background, he loves Nick Cage. He's like this super fan. I'm sure you saw in the trailers, like he's got like a model replica of him in his basement, and it's all these different things. But
I'll give you $12 million for it.
Yeah. It's like, is that a thing of me? It's hideous. Yeah. So yeah, but Pedro it's great. It's so makes fun of itself and it's so meta and yeah, all around great film.
Pumped.
Great film.
All right. I'll check that out. So mine then, since we'll move on to mine, is actually a super cute movie that I really enjoyed. I think you would love it.
It's on Disney Plus, right?
Simply because of who's in it. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. Cheaper by the Dozen.
Yeah.
The newest remake, because it was like an old movie.
Yeah, I used to watch those a lot.
Then they remade it with what's his name, Steve Martin,
Yes.
and then Tom Welling was actually in that one. I was
That's
kind of hoping
right.
he would make a guest appearance.
I know.
And then they just redid it again with Zach Braff and Gabrielle Union, which is a really cute, blended family where she had kids and he had kids, and then they had kids together, and the family's all kind of thrown together, but it works. They've got everything running like a well-oiled machine. They run a restaurant. They adopted, I think, like one, maybe two kids, and then Zach Braff's nephew comes and lives with them, which is how they get to the full 12. It's a really cute movie. He runs a breakfast restaurant, which I've always wanted to have just because I love breakfast. It's the best meal of the day.
Yeah.
And then he ends up becoming like this big mogul selling sauces and makes money, and money exacerbates the problems that they have, but they still come together as a family and work through it. It's super cute.
It's a feel good.
It's a real feel good movie.
Awesome.
And it's one of those things where like the blended family doesn't cause unneeded pressure. Like that's not the problem of the movie. It just is what it is.
Right.
And they're great. Like they practice gentle parenting. So that was fun to see in a modern movie. It's just a really good feel good movie. And I think anybody would be lucky to have a family like that.
Oh, wonderful.
Only thing I regret about that movie, or not regret, I didn't like about that movie is that Donald Faison wasn't.
That ticks me off. Donald,
they're best friends.
They are me and Chris.
From Scrubs. The two guys from Scrubs.
Oh. I never
Zach
know
Braff,
their real names, but
Zach Braff and Donald Faison were Turk and JD.
Right. Okay.
Or not respectively. Flip it around.
Yeah.
But he wasn't in it.
Oh.
You don't.
Kind of bummed. I
You
at least wanted him to like walk in the restaurant and be like, table for two.
Right. Yeah.
That's all.
That's all we
I
needed.
wanted.
Come on, people. Give us what we need.
You know what we want, Disney.
Golly.
You're
And
so
Disney
good
could
at-
have done it.
They're so good at giving us everything else we want.
Right. They know Donald too. They know that he loves Star Wars. What is
They own the Clueless movie. They could have gotten him back for that or something.
God,
I don't know, man.
What's going on?
I don't know. But no, seriously though, great movie. Go check that out. So those are our Rec and Revs of the week.
Yes.
Do the sound. Do the sound.
Oh. We're in a mood today. Harley, we missed you. You weren't here last
I
episode.
know.
You abandoned us
I did not. I was
in our time of need.
stressed.
In our time of need.
Which that leads to a great thing to celebrate here before we move on to this next segment. By the time you're listening to this, it'll only be a few days before Harley graduates.
Yeah.
She will be all done with everything she has ever needed to do in order to get this degree that she has worked so hard for. And we are so proud of you.
Yes.
We're like hella proud.
So proud.
Congrats on your life.
Thank you.
I love that whenever, if ever, you get into debates with people about history, that you can actually have like the degree that goes, no, I know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't.
No, I'm just
You
going
should
to carry it
around.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, you know what?
Have you
I
seen
paid for this shit.
Have you seen the woman on TikTok that has a degree in mythology, and she just keeps it in like a folder? And people are like, "Why don't you like hang it on the wall?" She's like, "It's not that important. I just carry it around with me. Here it is. Yes, I keep it in a folder. Doesn't matter to me. It's useless
It's
anyway."
just a degree. It's fine.
All right. Well, moving on to our next segment, we've got, since it is May the 4th,
Yes.
we have some May the 4th be with you trivia questions Star Wars moment. This will be our
Yeah.
Star Wars segment. Do we have a sound for this? We need to get a
No,
sound.
maybe later in post.
Bum, ba, da,
We'll have to see if we can
bum.
afford a Star Wars sound.
Just sing it.
Right.
Just
Even
sing
if it's
the
just like a
thing.
little blaster fire. Just so you know. All right, so today is May 4th, and as avid Star Wars fans, we could not let this episode go by without a little bit of recognition to the galaxy far, far away. Let's start with some fun facts you guys probably didn't know about Star Wars. Tim, give me the first one.
All right. According to the book, The Making of Star Wars by J.W. Rinsler, George Lucas originally planned for Yoda to be played by a monkey wearing a mask and carrying a cane.
Which I would have been down with. That would have also been cool.
It would have ruined being. Well, I guess they could have done CGI, but
You
I
never
don't
would
know.
have known.
I just don't know what to do with that information.
You wouldn't have known what Yoda could have been.
Well, yeah, I guess you. Sure, but
Also, it would have opened up a whole new race to the Star Wars universe that they haven't
of
really
ape-like
explored.
creatures.
Not just ape-like creatures, because they already have the Wookiees, which are like ape, bear, dog things. But like masked monkeys, like is the mask part of them? Is it like the Mandalorian helmet, where it's something that they always wear? Is it,
What is that Pokemon that has like a mask as its face?
there's a few of them.
Oh, okay. There's one I'm thinking of, but
Part 2 of the Star Wars facts you may not have known: Ewoks were never mentioned by name in Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
they had to be canonized later.
Yeah,
Wow.
they were never called Ewoks. Do you know what they were called?
No.
I don't.
I don't either.
Oh.
Oh,
Well, there you go.
I was hoping one of you guys would know.
things.
Harley, do this one.
Due to George's daughter being a huge fan of NSYNC, the
Dirty
pop,
pop. Sorry. Go on. Go on. Sorry.
the pop band made a cameo in Attack of the Clones, but were ultimately cut out of the final cut.
What?
I need. There has to be an image.
I did not know that. Somebody find the picture
What
for me,
kind of
please.
cameo though?
They could have been Jedi, or they could have been.
Can you imagine
just
they're
in
like
the clone armor?
They're in the band that's in the bar. What's that bar
the
called?
Cantina band.
Yeah. and
Oh,
they're
that would
like,
make sense.
Dirty, 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 dirty pop. I'd watch that
I would.
once. I'd never watch it twice, but
Oh, is
I'd
that
watch it
real?
But can you imagine
did you
like
find it?
Hold
being
on.
a part of NSYNC and they're
Add
like,
it to the
"Hey,
notes.
we want you to be in Star Wars.
My computer is.
We
super
will pay
old.
you to be in Star Wars."
Bro, I would pay anybody any amount of money to be in Star Wars.
But then they cut
No,
them.
that's not real. Sorry.
Bummer.
That's tragic.
All right, I'm going to do the next one since you're Googling. Qui-Gon Jinn used a Gillette razor for his communicator.
You know, I remember
What?
looking at that,
I knew
and
that.
I remember when that movie was like, "Why does that look familiar?" And I remember like one day, like looking in my parents' bedroom, like, "Hey, just
You guys have a communicator? No, I remember that fact from one of those like deleted scene
yeah."
extra info things watching behind the making of Star Wars. That is funny.
Yeah.
That is funny.
All right, so the next one, the sound of a TIE fighter engine is actually, I mean, it's a combination, but it's mostly comes from the sound of an elephant.
I could hear that.
You see those TikToks where it's like,
You want to do that again?
did you like that?
I did.
It's like, what is it? How does TikTok used to go? They're like, yeah, man, I want to go to Taco Bell and get the bah.
The blah blast. But it was, I saw the one with the TIE fighter. Get the blah blast.
Oh,
I gotta find that TikTok. Put that in the notes too for the people who haven't seen it. All right, Harley, take us away.
wait.
If you can.
Ooh, okay. Am I reading the George Lucas one?
Yeah.
Okay, George Lucas.
You gotta let this girl finish reading.
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead. I did it one more time.
stay away from the microphone.
You back up, sir.
George Lucas gave up his position in the Directors Guild because he chose not to go with the tradition of having the credits at the opening of the film.
Yeah, super controversial at the time.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because now that's like the thing.
it
Yeah.
is standard. You just
Because
like
he broke it.
yeah.
Wow. Good for you, George Lucas. You
But
set the standard.
I think it's funny that he had to give up his position
Right.
in the guild for that. Like,
Why is there a guild though?
it's like an HOA, basically,
Yeah.
like,
Oh.
to maintain the integrity of whatever.
Filmmaking?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to consider too during that time. I mean, granted, this is the '70s, but prior to that, it was like it was an elite thing. Like you had a lot of money, or you were given money, and it was just a prestigious thing.
Yeah.
So,
I
It's
mean,
just-
now anybody with an iPhone can be a director, but
Right. But
Yeah.
it's just so bizarre. I didn't know that was a thing, and that there was like a switch.
Yeah.
Love that.
The more you know.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly,
We all love Harrison Ford as Han Solo, but there are actually some other notable actors that were in contention for the role, including Burt Reynolds,
I would have watched that.
Al Pacino,
What?
Jack Nicholson, and
Definitely not.
probably the most
Jack Nicholson?
the weirdest one of them all, Christopher Walken. Could you imagine his voice?
I could. It would be hilarious.
That would have ruined. It wouldn't. Star Wars would not have.
Hold on. No. Call me a scruffy looking nerf herder.
You scruffy looking nerd herder.
Oh, scruffy looking. Just like that, right? Imagine that.
Hey, that was good. That was
No.
good. That was good.
Christopher Walken is one of my favorite impersonations. I'm not super great at it, but I love doing it.
Oh man, that was a good one. I dig.
You're talking to my Wookiee all wrong. And if you do it again, I'm going to stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
Oh my god! I can't do this today.
You prepared
It's the
that.
wrong
I know
tone.
you had to.
I didn't. This is just an impersonation that I do in my spare time. Like, I'm driving down the road in the car. And I just do it to myself just for fun.
To be in that car, just to be a fly on that window.
You just
My wife is always
channel
like,
Christopher Walken.
My wife is always like, we should get some dash cams or something for the car. I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
You wouldn't be able to do your voices, yeah.
It would ruin everything.
You just like hear in the background.
Could you imagine too? Because you choose when to record, but you started doing that right before an accident, so you had
With
to hear
my
it.
luck, yeah. Like, I would be doing it, and they'd be like, so when you were having this accident, was there anyone else in the car? No, it's just me. Are you sure you weren't talking to Christopher Walken? You're a pedestrian. Well, he was walking the wrong way.
Oh, bravo! Very nice.
Wasn't he like a big meme a couple years ago?
He's always a
He's,
meme.
he's always
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
His life is a meme.
He comes and goes. He was in James Bond. He was a bad guy in a James Bond movie.
Which one was that? I can't remember.
I want to say it was Live and Let Die.
Roger Moore? No.
Yeah, it would have been Roger Moore.
I'm trying to think of the iconic movie that like my brain immediately goes to for him.
Back to the Future.
No, Click. Oh, and Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt is one for
Oh
me.
yeah.
Oh, and Wedding Crashers. Yep. Oh, Hairspray? Yeah. Just all of them. There he is.
He's randomly all over the place,
Oh,
but
he's
you don't
everywhere.
ever really think about it.
Yeah.
It's A View to Kill.
Beauty go. Gotcha.
Nice. Love that for him.
Fun facts.
Anyways, getting back on track.
Oh, Christopher.
Sorry,
Walking.
Christopher Walken. What are you gonna do? Let's ask these questions. What is your favorite Star Wars movie, Harley?
Episode 3.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
Classic.
It's just, I don't know. Whenever I think of Star Wars, I think of the prequels in general because that's just like I don't know.
That's your age.
Yeah.
Your age group.
But like that one specifically because like Anakin,
yeah.
gets obliterated and Padme dies and I was in love with her and that was my like first bi awakening and I was like, wow, Natalie Portman. Just it was everything.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
I think the answer might be the same for me because we were talking about this earlier, but like the prequels are the ones that I watch in theaters. And so these were the pivotal ones, and the third one, in my opinion, is the best out of the three in general.
Agreed.
And so just that final scene with Duel of the Fates playing, and
You are my brother.
I loved you.
My idea.
Yeah. However, I will have a notable mention here, and it's very controversial because I was actually debating between these two movies. Rogue One.
I was thinking that one.
It is a
It
good
is such
movie.
a phenomenal movie.
It
is
very
so good.
well done.
Yeah.
Very well done.
It's not like in the main. I mean, it's canon, but it's not in the main.
The Skywalker saga.
Right.
Yeah.
But man, it's just a good.
It is really good. I really enjoyed Rogue One. I'm gonna be the basic guy though, and Episode 5, man. Episode 5,
classic.
Empire Strikes Back. To me, that's the best Star Wars. I grew up watching all the Star Wars movies. That's the one I watched on repeat, basically. Well, not repeat because I had VHS, so I had to like go forward and.
Oh, you had to rewind it?
Like I had to
Yeah.
actually go up to the VCR
Yeah.
and hold it back.
Back in my day.
Rewind it. Yeah, but that was before your time.
It was literally my time. I had one.
But yeah, episode 5 is probably my favorite. Just the big reveal of Darth Vader being Luke's father. And my dad timed it for me. So like as I was growing, like I watched the Star Wars movies with him. But then there was a point in time where he wouldn't let me watch them until I was like old enough to understand what was going on. That way it didn't spoil it. And then we watched them all together in what we called a movie marathon, which is very self-explanatory.
Right.
But we got candy, popcorn, and stuff, and we sat down. We watched episode 4, and then we watched episode 5. And I remember like that blew my mind. I was like, "Oh my god, that was his dad!" And my dad was like, "I know."
So cute.
So good times. Moving on, what was your favorite character?
I think we've shared this before. I can't remember where on the pod, but
We talked about our favorite Jedis,
but
but we never said who's your favorite character.
yeah, you and I partially share one, but I think if I had to gun to the head kind of decision, I would pick Obi-Wan. But my number 2 is your number 1, Chris.
Yeah. My number 1 is
I was like,
Ahsoka.
are you going to say it?
Yeah, absolutely. No, Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah,
I
she's
think
great.
she is the best character in all of Star Wars. She is very well-rounded. She's an amazing Jedi when she was a Jedi.
Yeah.
When it became corrupt, she deconstructed her Jedi faith and left the Order.
Come on.
Which speaks to me personally. And then she continued to follow the Force instead of the Jedi Order, which, again, speaks to me.
Man, so many parallels.
She came up with the purification of bled crystal, a kyber crystal. She can heal kyber crystals.
Right.
She is the personification of the light side of the Force. And she is just an all-around BA character.
Yeah.
I would love for my daughter to grow up to be like her. Little less rebellion, because I don't want to deal with that. But if she could just like turn out like Ahsoka, that would be great. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. Ahsoka's great.
Mine are less meaningful because my first one is BB-8.
Yo, BB-8 is dope.
No,
He's the
he
bomb.
is.
If
Like-
anybody says anything bad about BB-8, it's on site.
Because growing up, mine was like R2-D2. Like I just,
Classic, yeah.
loved him. Loved him.
R2-D2 is the best.
Yes. And then like, the new trilogy came out and I was like, I want him. I want a BB-8 right now. Like so bad. And then I also really love Rey's character.
Yeah, she's great.
I think
I don't
she's so
understand
cool.
all the hatred for Rey.
I don't either. I don't genuinely.
Misogyny.
Though that's absolutely it. I just
yeah.
don't understand
Straight up.
misogyny. That's my thing.
Yeah.
If you hate Rey, you're a misogynist.
Look,
That's
I can understand if you don't like how the story was written around her. Like, that's fine. That's completely valid.
Sure.
But, like, her as a character, like, there's nothing wrong that she does that is, like, warranted of hate or, like, because, look.
She has the same exact arc as Luke.
Yeah.
She starts off not knowing who she is or where she's from. She gets a lightsaber as an older person and starts learning the Force from a training master in the next episode.
Right.
And then by the end, she's got master level skills.
Yeah.
Like
It's literally the
thing.
same arc as Luke.
Yeah.
If you hate Rey's character development, you hate Luke's character development.
Yeah.
And don't try to tell me anything else.
Right. You just hate her because she's a woman.
That's exactly what it is.
That's it.
But yeah, I enjoy all of them. Just
Me too.
the 3. Finn, Rey, and
Poe.
Poe.
Poe Dameron.
They're all great.
Very cool.
I think the storyline could have been written better and differently. Absolutely. I'm glad they didn't do like the romance thing for Rey with
Agreed.
any
Yeah.
of with Poe or Finn. I'm glad they were just friends. But other than that, no complaints.
Yeah.
I liked it. Cool.
Newsflash, you don't have to, if you don't like a movie, you don't have to hate it.
Right.
There is
yeah.
a middle ground.
It's just like, it
It's
is what
not
it is.
politics.
Yeah.
Anyway. So,
Anyways.
moving right along to our next one. I want Harley to sing this part. We're going to move on to our next segment.
What did I miss?
Yes. Very nice.
Digging it. All right, so this is the part of the show where we like to present you with news that you probably didn't hear. We're going to have to rush through this because that Star Wars section took a lot of time.
It took a lot of time.
Let's actually start with Harley.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So,
Oh my God! I just started reading this. What do you got here?
Maybe we shouldn't have started with Harley.
So basically, there's like this huge thing going around right now where it's like teaching safe sex at an early age.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right. Through Easter eggs? Through Easter eggs has been a thing recently. So basically, this past Easter, the Easter Bunny came to this elementary school in Texas.
Right.
And accidentally passed out Easter eggs with condoms inside.
Accidentally, huh?
Right.
Gotcha.
So basically, it was a student's mom, and she works at a clinic, and they were doing like a safe sex presentation kind of thing. And so she dressed up as like the Easter bunny for it, whatever. And then so she gets off work and she goes to pick up her kid, and then a bunch of kids see
she
like the
didn't
Easter bunny.
change out of her Easter bunny costume?
No, I guess not. So she goes to, you know how it goes. The kids see and they're like, oh, fuck yeah, Easter bunny. Yeah, let me get him.
Exactly like that.
So they start bombarding her, and she's like, oh, so she starts giving them Easter eggs, and these ones have candy inside.
Okay.
Right.
These
Makes sense.
these are the correct ones. And so then she tells her husband, she's like, oh, I'm starting run low. Can you go to the car and grab the rest of them?
Oh.
Turns out the rest of them do indeed have candy inside, but they also have little what is the word?
Condoms?
Yeah, and other little treats is the way I would put that. But yeah, they have condoms inside, and some kids got them.
I probably wouldn't even be mad. Honestly, I would just laugh.
True.
If my
But I
kid
feel like
brought
I'd be
home an egg with
confused.
condoms in it, I'd be like, I'm going to take this. You can have the candy, and I'm just going to call your teacher real quick just to check on something. I wouldn't be mad at just like, hey, do you know this is happening? Like,
Right.
is that... Okay, you didn't do it? That's fine then.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Communication.
Yeah,
Communication.
that's all
guys.
it takes. I'm sure the teacher probably got some very angry phone calls and emails, and
Which
the
they
mom
did.
probably did as well.
But yeah, it was obviously completely unintentional. The husband grabbed the wrong ones.
Yeah.
But basically, the
it
Texas
on the
Attorney General, George P. Bush, he reacted in a fury online. And
I bet he did.
I'll just go ahead and read you his tweet.
No.
He
You have
says, it's just hilarious to me because he's like, not only is this against the law, it's disgusting. Radicalized leftist parents and school admins are out of control, attempting to exploit our children while in school. As AG, I'll hold schools districts accountable for their failures to protect our kids. Sir, what?
I don't know where to start. I'm just done.
I don't either. And it's the way that he turned this into like a
Yeah.
promotion thing for his
Yeah.
campaign.
It's not even a left versus right thing. It
No!
was just,
It was an accident. It was just an accident.
she works at a clinic, man.
Yeah, but even some other parents responded to him and were like, "Hey, dude, if you actually
Take it down a
read
notch.
what happened, you would know that it was completely
No, these
Nah.
politicians always just react to the headline. They
Yeah.
never read the
Right.
story.
So yeah, I just thought that was absolutely hilarious. He was like, "Oh my god, it's disgusting. Safe sex?
How dare you,
No."
sir? Sex is only for procreation once a month with your wife if she happens to be home.
But yeah, so that was that accidental
Which
Easter
I'm sure
eggs.
his
sex
wife never
education
is.
through Easter, which I guess is kind of what it's all about, anyways. Like fertility and the bunnies
New
and
life.
the eggs and
Really? Because
Yeah.
as far as I know, Easter is about Jesus.
the silence. Oh my god.
Have you seen the TikTok of that where it's like,
Yes.
so what is Ishtar again? Oh, it's a celebration of fertility and life, and we use a bunny as an image to worship and blah blah blah. It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we're gonna not do that, and we're gonna celebrate the resurrection of Jesus instead. Oh, okay. When does that happen? When was Easter?
Oh, right.
It was the first Sunday after the full moon of the vernal equinox. Weird enough, that's when Jesus resurrected. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So Easter then. All right. Okay. Talking about unexpected surprises and talking about potlucks. You'll get that in a second because usually Easter meals are like potlucks.
Oh, right, yeah.
But a Florida bride and her caterer for her wedding were arrested for allegedly lacing the reception food with marijuana.
Wow.
Wow. What a party.
I would have loved to go. So the bride at the wedding, I believe it's Danya Glenny, and her caterer, Jocelyn Bryant, are both facing charges of tampering, culpable negligence, and delivery of marijuana. The wedding, which was attended by around 30 to 40 guests, took place at the Springs Clubhouse in Longwood, Florida.
Florida.
It's always Florida. Even when it's not Florida
It's
man,
Florida.
it's
It's
Florida
Florida.
bride.
Yeah.
Florida bride.
When deputies were called to the scene, they spoke with a male guest who reportedly requested an ambulance because he was feeling weird and said he felt like he had drugs inside him.
That's so
First
bizarre.
of all, let's talk about this narc for a second. What kind of a...
Come on, man.
You suck.
There's drugs inside me.
Party pooper. According to WESH, several other attendees were transported and treated at local hospitals after they experienced sickness and feeling of being high or stoned. Authorities collected multiple items served at the ceremony, including chocolate-covered strawberries, bread, cookies, brownies, pudding shots, and, quote, a handful of lasagna. And I'm wondering, was it like a literal handful? Somebody just like,
It looks like this.
I got this lasagna here.
It's like the scene from Luca.
Sir, are you holding that lasagna in your hands? It was already on a plate. Why would you not pick up the plate?
Why aren't you?
Why don't you hold the plate? The police report said the lasagna and a piece of bread both tested positive for THC.
Well, there you go.
I'm assuming it was probably in some oil that they used to cook the lasagna or some butter or something, and the bread also was like dipped or wiped in the bread or bread oil.
Potentially.
I don't know. Whatever it was. So
I wonder if it was like one of those things where somebody was like, oh my God, I'm feeling so weird right now. And then other people were like, oh my God, me too.
What is that called?
That's crazy.
Not placebo. What is that? That's
the placebo effect, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's
Yeah,
like kind of like that.
Where they think,
Or like hypochondriacs, pretty much.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I
They're
wonder
not-
if that was
they're
the
not actually
case.
high. It was just like one person's brownie was messed up and everybody else was like, oh, dude, me too.
Right. Right.
Nah.
They're actually lactose
All I know is
intolerant.
they're a bunch of
Yeah.
narcs, and that was supposed to be a fun party, and they shut it down. And
Yeah,
That's up to
Come on,
losers.
people.
yeah, the bride and the caterer both turned themselves in last Monday, and they were
They turned themselves in?
yeah, they turned themselves in. They had to. I mean, they didn't have to. They could have gone on the run from the law, but
Oh, they were charged and on, like, had a warrant.
yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
they went and turned themselves in, and
I thought they were like, oh, we just feel bad.
I just
We
I
turn
feel
ourselves
like,
in.
I feel like the statute of limitations on that though should only be as long as the marijuana lasts, as long as there's no death. So like as soon as everybody feels fine, like later on or the next
But did
day,
they even, like, did the
should've been all
people even actually test positive for it? You know what I mean?
that I don't know. But I would assume probably not, because it was like one bite of lasagna.
Right.
So
It was a handful.
probably wasn't even that much weed in the food in general.
Right.
So
It's
I don't
just
know.
bizarre to me.
How bizarre.
How
Potluck.
bizarre.
How often do you go to a fast food restaurant?
Quite often.
Pretty often, yeah.
Yeah.
When would you say, just off your guess, your hunch, would you think the earliest fast food restaurant ever like opened?
Probably around 6,000 BCE. I'm thinking Macedonia.
I'm going to say, I don't know, because when I think fast food, I think modern. So obviously probably like maybe the 40s.
Okay.
Question mark?
What are you talking about, Chris? Are you just like trying to shoot something out of your ass, or you got something there?
No, I was just thinking like, kind of like how people say prostitution is the oldest oldest
Or like
profession
the
in book.
billboards.
But it wouldn't be. It would be like hunter or fisherman, because somebody would have to have something to give the prostitute, like a fish or some meat or something. Gatherers, some berries, whatever they're sleeping around for. I think, if they can figure out, I'm going to get sex for this, I could also probably get money for this. So they're just like, hey, I caught 2 fish. I'll sell you 1. Fast food restaurant.
Well, you're on the right track. Because, so according to a recent discovery in 2019, the city of Pompeii.
Pompeii.
That's
Pompeii?
Pompeii. There's a whole song about it.
That's true. Had what was called a hold on, I can do this. Thermopolium, or what we call a fast food restaurant. So inside, which I believe you friends have a picture in front of you, inside this ancient restaurant, you had a buffet-style tables in which jars filled with ancient delicacies would fit inside. In front of each jar, like on the table, was a painting of what was on the menu.
We got
That's kinda
we got a
cute.
salad bar situation over here.
Exactly.
It's literally a buffet.
You could call it a Caesar salad bar.
Because Italy. So, according to Sarah Cascone at artnet.com, quote,
It took you a second to catch up.
I was really trying to just
Slow
push
burn.
through.
It was a slow burn.
Okay, so
Much like Pompeii.
Oh no, that was actually pretty fast. It happened real fast.
Real fast. You would know. With
I
your
would.
history degree.
Yeah, crazy how things come full circle.
Okay, so according to Sarah at artnet.com, excavations uncovered duck, pig, goat, fish bones, as well as snail shells amid shards of earthen pottery, suggesting that some kind of meat and seafood stew may have been on the menu. Typical dishes served at the Thermopylaeum would have included salty fish, baked cheese,
Lentils.
thank you, my screen went weird, and spicy wine. Spicy wine.
What is spicy wine?
These Italians, man,
Cabanero.
It's got like sriracha in it.
got some spicy wine.
They invented sriracha just for this.
Sarah would go on to say the Thermopylaeum was a fixture of Pompeii. The newly discovered site was just one of 80 such restaurants that have been found in the
Holy
city
jeez.
because of poor Roman families couldn't afford to have kitchens in their homes.
That makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
So do you
Exploit the poor.
Or it was the only way they could eat.
do
so
you
there
think
was like
this
a
was
community thing.
think
like
that was
paid for,
intentional.
or do you think it was free? Because if it was free, then it was more like a food bank.
That's a good question. I didn't read. I
It
don't
was
think
probably paid for, but it was probably really affordable.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I remember in the article it was saying something on the lines of, obviously, if you're rich enough, you had your own slaves or you had your own servants that could,
Cook for you.
cook for you, had your own kitchen, everything. And so this was just a communal place. So I'm assuming it's not like a poor thing. It's just what everyone else that wasn't rich did. And so,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So ancient fast food, it existed, and
Was
we
it
will
really
include
fast,
some of these
though?
photos because,
Was it really fast though?
I mean,
It's got to be faster than going to get your own food and then cooking it at your own house.
yeah.
You just walk in, it's in a jar, you pick it up, you give the person your money, and
Do you think it's
Welcome.
cold?
I mean, I'm sure they had ways of heating it up.
There's like little fires
Probably.
beneath them.
fires or like the Turkish coffee where they do like the hot sand,
Right.
something like that.
So many questions.
I mean, there's one picture where
You would know before I would.
Yeah,
you asking
true.
me for?
Come on, Harley.
I'm sorry. I must research.
There's one picture where like they had like even like it wasn't just a food, but it was like other artwork. Like you would see it like at a Mexican restaurant and like have all of like the murals and everything around. It's kind of like that, and so
Cool.
very fun.
You think
So-
they had like themed, like this is from South Rome, this is from
right?
East Rome, this
Yeah.
is from one of our newly conquered territories.
This is from Naples.
Oh man, yeah. So
That'd
there
be
you go.
cool. All right.
I love that. That's so cute.
Well, fun. This has been a long and
Yeah,
fun
we're gonna have to do
intro.
some
We're
cutting.
definitely gonna have to cut some stuff out. But we'll be right back. We're gonna go ahead and take a break. Stick around. We'll be back to do more stuff.
Yes.
And we are back. Thank you for sticking around. It means a lot to us.
It does.
So, we're going to talk about our main segment for the day. And that, my friends, is retro tech.
Back in my day.
That's actually how Tim sounds. He puts on a voice for this whole podcast, but
Right.
he really sounds like an 80-year-old man.
You go check out my TV with the little fancy remote with the 4 buttons.
Got 4 buttons on his remote. You know, it's crazy how like TV started out with 4 buttons and then they went to like 1,000 buttons,
I
and
know.
now the Apple TV has like 4 buttons.
Yeah.
So we're back to it.
Wild.
It's insane. Today we wanted to be old and discuss some of the things that we grew up on that many kids today probably don't remember. If you're listening to us because Tim was your leader in youth group, you almost certainly don't remember because you're probably 12.
If you're my age, you might remember some of these things.
If you grew up with
Your parents probably
older
had some
siblings.
stuff
Yeah.
left around the house,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm sure some of these things that we mentioned you probably saw, but you may not have exclusively used.
Right.
Yeah, you probably had better tech than we did. So in this edition of Back in My Day, we're talking about the technology we grew up with, starting in category for TVs and movies.
Yes.
What was your most memorable piece of tech that you grew up with, TVs and movies?
Yeah, okay, so 3 mentions here for TVs and movies. So I remember very vividly when we got our first DVD player. Like prior to that, VHS, that was the thing. Like
Right.
we still, like I still have cassettes in my garage. I don't know why. I don't think we even have a VH player, but we do actually. But I remember it was like on a Friday night because Dad had gotten off of work, and we had already made the decision to go out and get a DVD player. So we had gotten the DVD player, I think at like Best Buy. No, might have been Radio Shack.
Radio Shack.
It might have been Radio Shack.
The epitome of 90s tech.
Yes. And then, here it comes. We went to Blockbuster
Yes.
to go buy Mission Impossible 2.
That was a good day for you.
Yeah, that was a great day. We got the snacks, we got the popcorn, and we set up the DVD player and watched Mission Impossible 2, which it wasn't a great film, but it was a great
It's a good
experience.
memory.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I think people our age remember that transition from
VHS to DVDs.
yeah, even if you don't remember that exact moment, you remember putting in the disc instead of the VHS and having to rewind it and having to did you have the individual machine to fast rewind it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember, getting it stuck in the VH player and having to come out and try to fix it and
take apart your VCR every time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So that was a big moment. I also remember when I was in, it was shortly after that, we would take road trips to for Christmas or whatever to my dad who lived in Iowa. And so before that, what we'll get to later, had some handheld devices, but they eventually made a portable DVD player.
I had one of those.
It
was a game changer.
It really was, because you had to be careful with it because you had to set it in just the right position, because if you bonked it, it could hurt the disc.
Yeah.
You could make it skip or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, I remember having that. And I remember just being a total game changer because you have your own headphones. You could just watch it. You don't have to be distracted from your sister or your sibling or whatever. But that was a big moment. It was really.
We had one of those when we were still driving cross country in my family, because my family lives all over the place. I got family in New York and Louisiana, Texas, Florida. We were driving all over the place. Had one of those portable DVD players, life changer.
Yeah.
It made those road trips so much more bearable.
Yeah. Yep. All right, and then my last thing in this category is this is one that you probably don't remember, Harley, but it was the whole Blu-ray versus HD DVD debate.
They tried so hard.
They tried. Do you remember this, Harley?
Kinda. I guess.
So they basically came out in the same cases as the Blu-ray ones, but they were red.
Yeah.
It was HD instead of Blu-ray.
Yeah, HD was by Microsoft and Blu-ray is Sony. And so
I definitely remember Blu-ray, obviously. I remember when that was a big thing, but I don't recall red.
My dad had bought an HD. He bid on the wrong one. He bought an HD player, and he still has it and still has some of those old movies.
Nobody wants to buy it.
No. I think we have Transformers on there and a few other
nice.
Yeah, mid 2000s category. But yeah, Blu-ray eventually won out. But yeah, I remember that.
Cool.
That's pretty groovy. Okay, so my stuff is obviously VHS. Same old thing. The things I associate that with is Flubber and the Rugrats movie, because it was an orange one.
The orange cassette.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the best.
Nickelodeon.
Yes. And then also, you guys Tim, you already said it, DVD player, stuff like that. That was definitely more me, because I feel like VHS was when I was 7 and under. And then kind of the rest of my life has been DVD and all that stuff and portable. But I think the most monumental part of my childhood would be the huge TV that we used to have.
The massive big screen
The
with
massive,
a big fat
yes.
back.
I thought you were going to put this in.
I did
Which was,
initially, but I'm going to let her do
a
it.
thick boy. And I remember when we and I remember when we eventually got I guess a plasma screen or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Which weighed about the same.
Just a
Even
little
though it
bit
was
smaller, I
slimmer.
guess. Still thick, but smaller. And watching my dad and my older brothers trying to get the old TV out of the house. Do you remember how the screen felt?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's
a weird texture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that's my childhood.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So when my parents started upgrading their system, I got the big TV from the back room because my dad got an even bigger one.
Oh,
So
right.
Yeah.
I got that one put into my bedroom, and I had a bunk bed, so I had turned my bedroom into the coolest little fort. I took the mattress off the top and put it on the side, and put sheet from the top of the side of the mattress to the top bunk. Hung a sheet from the ceiling, hung a sheet from the top bunk down, so I had 3 separate rooms. And then I had the TV open to the bottom floor, so I could see everything from either my bed or my comfy cozy spot. I had that whole setup with the big TV. It was so
That
great.
sounds phenomenal.
So mine would be, first off, my VCR, which my brother got for me when I was visiting him for the first time in Fort Polk. It was a Nickelodeon edition VCR.
Yeah,
it was
That's
the
dope.
coolest
I remember
thing
wanting
ever.
that.
Yeah, it was like orange. It had the foot logo on it or whatever. So cool. And I think beyond that, the surround sound system.
Yeah,
That was
my
a
dad was
game
totally
changer.
into that.
So we didn't get one until obviously way later because my parents could probably have afforded it at any point in time. They just were really not on the technology train, I guess. So all of our tech is old. But my dad
Same.
got a surround sound system probably about the same time we got our DVD player.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't like mount the speakers or anything through the ceiling like a lot of
We
people
would
did.
eventually.
He basically just put the speakers like had the wire running along the sides of the
Oh,
room and
yeah,
put one
yeah.
speaker in the back, one speaker back there. The subwoofer was like behind the couch and hid the other speakers, like two on top of the TV or whatever have you. That made movie watching like a life-changing experience. I remember watching Jurassic Park 3
Ooh,
Which-
yes.
by all measurable markets was the scariest of the Jurassic Parks with that surround sound system.
Yeah, yeah.
Blew my
Oh,
mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Blew my mind. Such a great thing.
Man, that movie too.
I went to my other friends' houses to experience surround sound, and it was great. It just made leaving home that much more better. You know what I mean?
I think I was in high school by the time we got one.
We had one in the Watchtower,
Yeah.
and that was fun because we'd watch superhero films. Like we would just blast it up all the way up.
Wasn't that your dad's old surround sound system?
No, it was Aubrey's old one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Aubrey
Yeah.
gave it to us. Thanks, Aubrey.
Yeah.
All right. Cell phones and pagers. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
Tim, what was your cell phone of choice?
Okay, so I had a hard time like remembering all of them because I realized I went through quite a bit. Before we got to the iPhone stage of having phones, like you went through a lot because like whether they were just so cheap or you lost them or all the above. But the first one I remember really liking was the Samsung SCH-A930. It's now, mind you, I don't think I had a
This
single.
was before clever marketing.
I don't think I had a single name brand one, but this one was really cool. It was a flip phone, and when you would open it, it would have in the middle of it this camera that you could basically had a wheel and you can move it forwards or backwards. So if you
I
wanted
had one
to,
of those.
you could take a selfie if you wanted to, or if you just pushed it forward on the wheel, it would take a forward picture. And so, but you could also, when you flipped it over, it was also an MP3 player, which
It
had
had
like
the
the button.
play, the next, and the back button on the
Yeah.
cover with the little screen.
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
I had one of those.
Yeah.
I think that was like my second or third phone.
Yeah, but a memorable note, and for those who are of a certain age probably won't remember, but they didn't have a QWERTY keyboard on those things. You had to do the what is the official what is it officially called?
TTY. No, that's the talk to text. I don't remember.
Where you had to click
Well, you
each
have
button.
to tap each button to get to the letter.
Right. I can't remember what it's called.
A9 or something. T9. T9. It's T9 texting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, I remember that. I remember that being so frustrating.
Yeah.
I remember seeing some of my friends with their, fancy pull-out QWERTY keyboards.
The
and
sidekick.
Yeah,
Where
the
you could, like,
sidekick.
slide it up.
I was so good at it though. On the flip phone, I was like,
that was a master.
do it
You
without
back,
looking.
you master it.
I used to be able to do it without looking. Just
Yeah.
T9 text.
That
Yeah.
was a trait.
I couldn't do it today to save my life.
Yeah. So my dad had a BlackBerry Curve, which I inherited at one point, and that had QWERTY. That was nice.
I got one of those at one point.
So I had like an off-brand version of the Sidekick, and also had this one called the Verizon Rogue, which was essentially kind of like that. But yeah, I think I had like two flip phones, and then everything else was like that Sidekick one or something along those lines. Until eventually, I think it was like the iPhone 4, maybe 5. It was my first one. But yeah.
All right. So for me, I had the Nokia Brick. That was my first phone, which, sounds cool because you're like, oh, you've had a cell phone since no. Everyone else had
Right.
flip phones. This is when the Razr was out, the
Yeah.
Motorola Razr.
Yeah.
That's when I got the Brick. So I was not cool.
Yeah.
It was not cool.
I remember.
I did eventually get a flip phone my freshman year of high school. I got my first cell phone, I think, in 8th grade. And then my freshman year of high school, I upgraded to the flip phone, which was my dad's old flip phone because he upgraded. And that's how it went for me. Every time my parents upgraded, I got their old phones,
Right.
which is
Yep.
now what I'm doing to my kid. Every time I upgrade, he gets
Exactly. Yeah,
so
1,000%.
perfect there.
Keep them humble.
I'm pretty sure my first iPhone I got in college, and it was the 6S Plus.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it was when the 7 or 8 was already out.
Okay.
And that one was the first one that wasn't a hand-me-down, but I did buy it used.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and then I've been iPhone ever since.
Same.
So my first ever phone, I was in 4th grade because I needed to start walking home. Well, I didn't need to. I wanted to because I was like, I'm grown. And so my dad got a new flip phone. And so
All right, Little Mermaid. I'm not a kid anymore, Daddy. I'm 16. You are a child.
No, yeah. And I'd even walk far. I lived like right down the road from my school, but that's besides the point. But my dad gave me his old flip phone, and it was like a blue matte flip phone, no camera, nothing of that sort, just simple.
I can make calls and I can play Snake.
I don't even think it had games on it or anything. It was just, it was there to communicate, pretty much.
What is your phone called? Phone.
Pretty much, actually.
It's amazing how far
Blue
technology
phone.
has come.
Phone.
Now phone is just an app on my phone.
Right. And I've even tried looking up the phone to see if there was a name. I can't even find an image of it.
Just type in blue phone.
I had a hard time searching for any because there's so like.
I didn't even bother.
Yeah, it was hard. It was just hard.
There's like technical names for all of the phones I had. I didn't bother.
Yeah. And then next was like the BlackBerry. You know, I had like, I didn't have the BlackBerry, but I had like the knockoff version of
Yeah.
it. So you know, same thing, full keyboard. Motorola Razr, the big thing, super popular. All
Never
the
had a
different
Razr.
colors.
Yeah, I didn't have it either.
Couldn't afford it.
Mine was like, I think I got it as a hand-me-down from a friend who got a new phone. And obviously, I couldn't use it effectively because it had...
Wi-Fi wasn't a thing. And
Right.
You couldn't
Yeah.
transfer
So,
the SIM
yeah.
cards back then.
So it was just more of like a play phone, I guess.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
used it for like pictures and stuff like that. So it wasn't really a phone.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just like,
It was a prelude to having an iPhone.
correct, which... I didn't actually get one of those until high school. I had like, you know, Androids, the Android touchscreens.
Oh, yeah.
That started blowing up. So I started doing that. And then, I also had a track phone. Like, you know, the minutes phones.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I bought 10,000 minutes in 1999 and I'm still using them.
So like those were just a thing.
Can we talk about for like the anxiety of like getting text messages from people when you're running out of text messages back in the day? You, remember those? Like,
Remember getting those phone calls at like 6:30?
yeah.
You had to answer real quick. I'll call you after 8.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. I forgot about that.
Like accidentally hitting the internet button.
yes.
Yeah.
And you're like panicking. No.
So
I
yeah,
thought I was going to get beat so many times.
knowing
Oh my
dang
God.
well that never actually, I don't think it ever charged them. It was just an accident, unless you like stayed on there and actually
Yeah.
searched
Right.
stuff.
It's like the
But if you
first
opened
minute,
it-
like after the first minute,
Right.
you get charged.
But I was like,
It's like you panic until you see it finally go away, and then you're just like sweating the whole day.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
My dad's gonna kill me.
and then iPhone, obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but touchscreens in general were obviously a big part of my childhood.
All right. So speaking of cell phones and pagers, which none of us mentioned pagers. I never had a pager.
I did,
You know, me neither. I put it in there just in case.
Yeah. All right. Moving
I
on.
had a pager.
So speaking of handheld devices, Tim, what were your favorite non-cell phone handheld devices?
Yeah. Okay. So I had to mention this one because Dad, kind of like what you were mentioning with your Razor, where it didn't have like any of the actual features of it. My dad let me use his Palm Pilot. Do you remember those?
My mom used to have a Palm Pilot, and I used to use it as well.
I remember it just being mind blown because it was like the first touchscreen stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
like, it wasn't like full on
You had
touchscreen, but
the little pin, and you could
Uh-huh.
like
you don't do you know
I
what we're
think
talking
I know
about?
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Where it's like in it.
Yeah.
The pen, you gotta like double click it and it pops out and then you just,
Well,
no?
maybe. I mean, there's so many
the
of
one
them.
my
so
mom
maybe.
had, it was like behind there, and you had to like
Yeah.
dig it
Yeah.
out.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's almost like the Kindle screen. Like as far as how it looks, like that same kind of color and everything.
Oh, yeah.
The paper
Yeah.
backlighting.
yeah.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
But yeah, I remember playing games on there and keeping notes on there and stuff like that. However, some of my favorite things to play with was the Game Boy Color. Like that was the first one I had.
Oh, my brothers had those.
1998. I got one for my birthday. It
Yes.
was the best gift
It was
I have ever received.
It was a purple one. I think I had some skateboarding games. Tony Hawk. I think I had.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1.
Yeah, I think I had.
Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue.
I
I think
couldn't
my
have
brothers
those.
had those.
Man, there's some other
Yeah,
ones.
you couldn't have had Pokemon.
No, man. I know there's some other. I think I might have had some kind of Zelda game. I think that sounds familiar. I could be wrong, but I think I did.
Probably Link's Awakening.
Yeah. So,
Or
but yeah,
Minish Cap, depending on which one you're talking about.
yeah. And so, anyways, I would move on to other Game Boys like the Advance and the Advance SP. And can we just talk really quick about the accessories that came with the original Game Boy
Bro,
Colors?
the worm light.
You know what I'm talking about?
The worm light was the saving grace to the Game Boy because that allowed you to play at night. Basically, so
There was no backlight in the beginning days.
It was just the dead, like as dim as your phone screen can possibly get. That's it. So like you're doing this in the outside light.
Yeah.
At night though, you could not play without that light. And it plugs into a little USB port on the side of the thing.
Yeah.
And it's a physical light that comes up and comes out like a street light. But the worm light was the coolest one because it had a little spiral that allowed you to move it and twist it and stuff. So you could put it in position. So if you like to play like this, the light wasn't right in your face. You could angle it up and shine down. It was the coolest.
I have really vivid memories of playing at night in the car and literally pausing.
Following the street light.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're,
man.
so
leaning out the window so you can
cute.
see. Oh, yeah. No, I remember that.
Yeah, so when the light came out, and then there's this other one that had this magnifying glass that had a light on the sides
Yeah.
of it. That was a game
That was
changer.
mind-blowing.
That was cool.
Oh, my God. So cool.
Some ones that I didn't have. I remember there was the printer one. There's one that had a camera on it. What was another one? Oh, the one I did have was the larger buttons, like the joystick. Did you have that one?
I never had that one, but I saw it.
That was
really
cool. It made some of the racing games a lot easier.
A buddy of mine, Danny, was really big into video games growing up. He still is. He's a great dude. But he was the kid that had all the cool accessories. So I remember for my birthday one year, he got me a bag for my Game Boy that also had the worm light and a magnifying glass and stuff in it. So he got that for me for my birthday one year, and it was the coolest thing ever. And I think I used it for 3 months before I lost it.
Right. All right. So really quick, moving on from me, some notable other things I had, the MP3 players. I had the iPod Nano, the Shuffle, the Touch, and one of the big ones that was stolen from me was the 80 gig video iPod.
Wow. 80 gig video iPod back in the day.
You remember that thing?
You were king.
Yeah. It
That's
was
the big one that's this big, and it's a big old square.
about that big. Yeah. Yeah. It was
About
very
the size of an iPhone 3.
Yeah. But it was, it was amazing. But I had someone stole it from me because it was a big thing. So.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to jump in here and go off of that one because I wanted so badly for Microsoft to be a thing for so long. I had the Zune.
Did you? You know what? I think I remember that.
I had a Zune. I had the Halo Edition Zune, and it was
That's
so
what it
cool.
was. Yes, it was like a greenish color.
Yep. I had it. I took it to school one day. I had one of my teachers said we could listen to music in class, so I had my Zune and I had my headphones in. Apparently, it was too loud, and she took it. She didn't say anything. She just walked by my desk, grabbed it, pulled it out, and pulled the whole thing, headphones and all, wrapped it up, threw it in her desk, and said, "You can get this back tomorrow." Came back tomorrow to get it, and she said, "Oh, somebody broke into my desk and stole it."
What a punk.
Which may or may not have been true. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, she was just like, "Oh, well, your loss. Shouldn't have been listening to it." You said we could. It was one of the most infuriating days of my life.
I remember that Zune, man. I remember
It was cool, and
Yeah.
I bought it with my own money that I made from cutting yards and stuff.
Wow.
So mad about it. Aside from that, though, back to the handheld stuff, I also had the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. I won a Game Boy Advance SP from one of those competitions that they did, not even contests that they did on one Saturday morning, those cartoon
Oh, no way.
Saturday things. I entered a contest and I won one of the first prizes, which was a beach towel, 100 packs of Kool-Aid, a Game Boy Advance SP. So it was really cool. And then I also used to have a Game Gear, which was the Sega version of Game Boy, where you could just plug in the Sega console games. And then obviously, the CD player and the Walkman that I inherited from my brother because he's 12 years older than me. The CD player was a life changer for me because I could take all my CDs with me anywhere I wanted, and I had a jacket that had a pocket on the right side that fit the CD player perfectly if I turned it this way.
Right.
So you turn it this way and you push it in, and the headphone like still has to like come up, and you can put your headphones on. And it was like the physical headphones like these, but they were like much thinner and much more breakable.
Yeah.
And the headphone quality was not great.
No.
But it was world changing at the time.
Yeah.
That's what I miss.
Yeah, I remember even with my MP3s having the iPod in my back pocket and running the headphones up through my back in my shirt and having it here, so that way if I was in class or whatever, I can still have it accessible.
Yeah.
And
Being the cool kid.
You just lean on your hand
Cool
like
guy.
this and hide it.
yeah,
So the teacher never knew.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Good times. Harley.
Mine was just, like Tim said, a variety of MP3 players. Did they have names? Probably. Don't know. Couldn't tell you. Just had a variety of... My favorite thing was going to pawn shops and buying used ones that already had music on them. That was good.
It was kind of like going to a record store.
Yeah, it's a little surprise. You know what I mean? You have like tons of
never know what you'll
Nickelback
find.
on there, and you're
It's
like,
always
oh,
Nickelback.
It's always Nickelback. It was amazing.
You know, as many people hate Nickelback nowadays, like
They were the shit back then.
y'all were listening to a lot of
Yeah.
Nickelback to be hating on them now, because
Facts.
I bought like 12 different used MP3s that all had Nickelback on them, and I know it wasn't the same guy selling 12 different MP3s.
No, yeah. Even my my Xbox growing up, I think we put Nickelback on there. We burned it onto there.
I totally forgot you could do that
Yeah,
back in the day.
it
I
was
used to do
phenomenal.
that all the time.
And then another one that I didn't write down, but the PSP.
Oh,
Yeah, I always wanted it, never
Yeah,
got it.
I had a PSP.
A couple of my classmates, I think
I'll put
two
it
of
there
them
for you.
had. Thank you. Two of them had it, and so we would just like play it on the playground, and it was awesome. So
I had a
that was-
PSP in high school. I got it jailbroken, which is a term that isn't used anymore, but
Very
basically
rarely,
where
yeah.
you can override the software blocks and locks that it had, so you can play like Japanese games in an American console and
yeah.
things like that. I handed it to one of my friends in high school, and he brought it back the next day. I was like, "Here you go, it's jailbroken," and it had like 1,000 games on it from like
That is dope.
all over the place, things I had never heard of, games I got to play. Really fun.
You're the guy I went to kind of like see those games and play those things.
Yeah.
So you had a guy.
Yeah,
that
I figured it out. I'm not gonna be the gardening guy. I'm gonna be the guy.
the guy.
Everybody needs a guy that can get them a guy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's gonna be me. I'll be the guy. You need some international shipping. I got you.
I'll find the guy.
I know.
I
Yeah.
have a guy for that now. You need a Porsche fixed? I've got you. I have a Porsche guy now. You need a pilot? I got a pilot. Whatever you need, man, I got you.
The
Come
guy
find
guy.
me. I'm your guy.
I'm the guy.
Another one that I just realized I wrote on consoles, but I should have wrote on handheld was the Nintendo DS.
Oh yeah.
Just a variety. The 3DS, the DS itself. There's like the pink
Oh
one.
yeah.
I used to have a 3DS.
I loved them. I stole my sister's constantly and would play like, what is it, Nintendog on there. And you get to like raise your own dog and stuff like that.
I think I actually
Phenomenal.
physically have a DSi with Nintendogs in my car right now.
Yes.
If you wanted, it's yours.
Ah!
I don't have the charger for it, but I have the DS, and I'm pretty sure Nintendogs is in there.
What?
Don't really care for it.
I'll take
It's
you up
never
on
my
that
thing.
offer.
We'll find it in a
Okay,
second.
next one. Consoles.
Last one for this segment, we're talking about consoles.
Woo.
The physical plug into the wall and TV, play your game consoles. I'm going to start this one
Do it.
because I was raised on
We shared a lot
technology
of these.
slightly older than myself. So I got to start off my console with the NES.
Yeah, I got a picture of me and my dad playing this game when I was like 2 years old.
Yes. Now, for the NES, I did have the cool accessories. The sniper scope, the gun game
dope.
for Duck Hunt. I had the trackpad for the track and field games.
Look at you.
I had all kinds of like physical games. Such a great memory playing games with my brothers and hanging out just playing the NES until my mom sold my NES at a yard sale while I was away.
No.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think she was going to say. It was kind of like Toy Story 2.
Or it just ended up in the garage sale.
Yeah, it kind of somehow was out there, and then she brought it back in. But somebody walked into our house during the garage sale and stole that
Jeez.
and my saxophone. Just gone. Just gone.
Totally forgot you
I don't
played
even know
saxophone.
where that was. Yeah, I used to until somebody stole it. Never could afford another one, so I just
You
stopped.
said the trauma. I refuse to
You could
play
have had, you
again.
could have had a whole
I could have
career.
been a completely different human being had we not been robbed that day. But I miss,
You got robbed a lot.
bro. Look, I've been robbed a lot.
Hey, Chris, you still got my
man.
CD? Nah, man, it was stolen.
I've been robbed a lot, like a
jumped.
concerning amount.
Yeah.
I was never jumped, but I was robbed. No, I was jumped a few times.
Oh, okay.
But I was robbed a lot.
I think one of my best friend's dads had the NES or whatever.
The NES, probably. It was such a
And
great
so I would
system.
play it over
and
at
then
there.
Come out,
Super
89?
NES. My dad actually recently came to visit, and we played Street Fighter 2 Turbo on the NES, well, the FC Twin, but it's an NES ROM, basically, that you can physically put NES and SNES games into it. So we played Street Fighter 2, and obviously I still won because I'm the greatest of all
Right.
time.
Right.
And then I remember when my dad was in Korea, he brought back a PlayStation 1, which was the first time I'd even heard of PlayStation, and I died. Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot. There was a game based on the 7-Up logo. So 7-Up
They
used
had the
to have a
weirdest
red
games.
dot as
Yeah.
a logo with like sunglasses and arms and legs. And it was basically Crash Bandicoot Rip, but it was the red dot. And
That's pretty dope.
I played the 7-Up game. There were all kinds of demos that you can play. SSX, the snowboarding game. There's one where they would like you put in a disc and you could pick 1 out of 5 demos to play. That was always fun.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal blew my mind back then. Tekken, Tag, all of them. PlayStation was where it was at. That's when I got locked into PlayStation. I'm still a PlayStation guy to this day.
Nice.
Let's go.
Tim?
I did not follow the PlayStation path.
Obviously.
Me either. It's okay.
Kind of mad about it.
Okay, so I started off with Nintendo, same as you. NES, I played that when I was a kid. Nintendo 64, GoldenEye, all that jazz. Fantastic. GameCube, that was a fun console.
GameCube was the one.
That was a fun one. It was
yeah.
It was easy to carry around. It was small, the small discs and everything. So back to my comment earlier about the portable DVD player. So when I got the GameCube, someone else in my family got me the small portable screen. So imagine you have the GameCube and there's this little extension that came with it where the screen would come up, but if you're not watching it, you can just put it on top. Like it would just fold
it
over
just
on
folds
top
on
of
top.
it. And so
So it's like screen and then the case lid, and then you close that, and then you can close the screen.
right. So whenever I wanted to like go on road trips, just put that bad boy on there, and I mean, it was the smallest whatever screen, but it was still better than not having it at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, GameCube, I remember playing a lot of fun. I remember playing like pod racing on that game. I remember GoldenEye, of course, they had that on all of them.
Double Dash.
Yeah.
Mario Kart Double Dash.
Oh yeah, dude, that's a classic. Oh man, there's one in my head. I just lost it. Oh, Crazy Taxi.
Crazy Taxi.
Man.
Bro, we still play that.
I know, it's so much fun. Okay, so there's that. And then the first like non-Nintendo console I got was the Xbox, the original, the classic, Halo,
Yeah.
all that stuff. That
Yeah.
was the
Frenzy, Oddworld, Earthworm Jim, all of those games.
Oh yeah.
I remember those.
Yeah, man.
What was it? Dead or Alive.
I had a friend that played it, but I didn't have that one. But yeah.
I bet you didn't.
Hold on, actually.
That one was a little risque.
Oh yeah, there's some of my games. I have Mercenaries down there.
You still have the original Xbox games?
Yeah. Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh, I loved
Star Wars
Mercenaries.
Battlefront.
Battlefront
Yes.
2, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Battlefront 2. And not the one that they recently released, but the original. Star
Yeah.
Wars Battlefront 2.
I loved that one. I played that a
so
lot.
much fun.
That's-
I miss having that game at the church.
Yeah.
All-
That's how I
all
met
the kids
Drake.
would like fight. Yeah, I remember that. That's how you met him. Yeah. All the kids would fight to play that game. It was pretty great.
That was so dope. Yeah.
Childhood.
So anyway, so I had that, and then I had the Xbox 360, which I again still have some of those games. I got Halo down there. I got Star Wars Legos,
All the classics.
all the Batman, Arkham, all those games, and then some notable mentions when my dad was a children's pastor. When he wasn't, when was he not? He would take me to the church all the time, and he'd let me play on the games that they had in their game room. And one of the games that I remember playing back in the day when I was a kid was the Dreamcast. Do you remember that?
I remember the Dreamcast.
Harley, do you know what I'm talking about? It was a weird.
Sega.
It was a weird but cool, magical console that didn't go anywhere, but it had the potential to. But
The
for
GameCube stomped it.
I guess
They came out around the same time, and it just didn't stand a chance.
the controller had this option to put in like this little screen in it. And it was the weirdest, coolest thing ever. But I remember playing I can't remember what the games were, but I remember playing a lot on it.
Mostly Sonic. That's what I remember.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense.
Sonic Adventure Battle 2.
Good times.
Good times.
Who's next?
Me. Okay, so mine would definitely be the Wii. The Wii was my. I loved that console.
I don't want to attack you, but I remember a meme that said you either have a family that is still together or a Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that, 3,000%.
I got my Nintendo Wii later in life, and that's also when my parents divorced, was later in life.
No, mine was early on, quite early on.
understand.
So, the trauma, what is the word? The reparations for the trauma started early on. But anyways,
Sorry,
Wii
we're getting
Sports.
divorced, but we got you a Wii.
Yeah, Wii Sports, making me's of yourself and all of your friends.
That was fun.
You could literally go to school the next day and take a picture and be like, dude, I made a me of you. Look at it. Oh, just phenomenal. All of them. I loved it. Bowling.
Bowling.
It was everything.
That was classic.
Sports.
And also, this is not like a console, but my next one is going to be like that huge Windows computer that's like a cream color, and it came with the tower.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The huge one.
The old Microsoft.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Thickums. And that was like the family computer at my house forever. We didn't, even when newer computers came out, my dad was still like, this one works, we're fine.
Yeah, this is the house computer.
Yeah.
I played so much Club Penguin on there. It's not even funny.
Bro, where were you at with Neopets, though?
I was not.
You were not in the Neopet
No.
family?
Because didn't you have to pay for those?
No.
I thought you did. Oh, I'm thinking of Webkins.
You definitely did not, because I had one.
Oh.
And I know that I would not have anything I had to pay for.
Yeah. So, and then obviously Xbox. Xbox was huge for my childhood. 360, all that. Kinect. Do you remember when the Kinect came out?
When you could move and it would
Yeah.
follow you, but it was terrible technology.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
I remember that.
They were trying to copy, or they were trying to, because didn't Sony come out with theirs thing first?
No. They were trying to be like the Wii.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, they were trying to be like the Wii, and then Sony perfected it with their thing, but it still never caught on because nobody really cared, and then VR became a thing. So
Right.
Yeah.
So,
it is what it is.
yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, fun little trip down memory lane there. I had a blasty
Yes.
blast doing that.
Blasty blast.
Any other things you guys want to mention? I think I'm all set.
Yeah, I mean, we had computers. I didn't have any fancy computers growing up, so I didn't really have any.
I had those school computer rejects. so-
Right.
Yeah, that. It wasn't fancy, but it was essential to my childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on it constantly.
All right. Well, fair enough. Like LimeWire, we are going to end this segment. Because if you ever had LimeWire, it ruined everything. But
how
don't
the
leave
computer
just yet.
died.
We're going to be around for just a few more fun segments. Got some fan questions coming up, and we'll take it from there. Welcome back. I don't know why I did that. That was weird. Welcome back. Thank you for holding on for us. Thank you for sticking around through those messages. You're really helping us get paid. You're not, but if more people did it, we probably would get paid.
Yeah.
We are grateful, for the record, we are grateful for all of our listens.
We absolutely are. We are grateful for every single one of you. We appreciate it. You're helping us in one way or another. We just
However,
need more.
in this economy,
We're going to need more from you. In
just
Joe
kidding.
Biden's America, on Beyonce's internet.
Just put those episodes
gonna
on
need
shuffle,
more.
guys. Just
just let it play.
Look, if you have
put
an
it on
iPad
mute
that you're
and let
not
it go.
using, just hit repeat, and that would be great. No. So before we get into our fan questions, we just want to remind you guys that we do have a Always More hotline. It is a voicemail phone number that you can call and leave us your questions. That phone number is 254-218-4042.
again, that is 254-218-4042.
So give us a call, leave a voicemail. If you don't like it, tell us that you don't like it at the end, and we'll delete it and try your next one.
That's a good idea.
Nobody will actually talk to you, so you can feel free to leave as many messages if you want.
Yes.
Nice comments as well. If they're mean, I will cry. So don't do that.
And I might fight you.
Harley's more likely to fight you than I am, but I am 100% more likely to cry than she is. So it is what it is. Say what you want. But moving on to our fan questions, let's start with... I forgot we had a sound for that.
It's all right. Keep
Cute.
it going.
I love it. All right, let's start with the question that was asked by your wife, Jess.
Yes.
She said...
What fictional character would be the most boring to meet in real life? Toby Flanderson.
I've never watched The Office. so I can't comment. I mean, I have.
It
I
is a
watched a
millennial
couple
show.
episodes.
Well, okay, look.
I watched a couple episodes.
You came in. It is strange that you haven't watched it yet because it was both a millennial thing, but then years later, Gen Z started watching it.
No,
Yeah.
the millennials just started watching it again.
No, definitely all of my friends started watching it and
Yeah.
like just revitalized it.
Right.
But,
That's
like,
because
I
your
just,
friends were under him.
No.
She's
Even
talking about general.
randos like at school. Like they just start talking about The Office.
Randos.
Yeah. But
I mean, Billie Eilish is a perfect example.
she watches The Office?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good for
Oh,
her.
yeah.
Yeah, no. But I also hate being on mainstream stuff. So I'm like, I will avoid this at all costs.
All right, you hipster.
Yeah, Toby Flanderson or Colin Robinson from What We Do in the Shadows.
Colin is just the worst.
He is.
He's an energy vampire.
Yeah. So his
He literally sucks the energy out of everything. he literally sucks. He's the worst.
it is the perfect example of
What
the
show?
What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, you told me about this, I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, okay.
It's
It's
really
a Taika Waititi movie that they turned into a TV show, and it's
Okay.
It's-
Maybe I'll watch that one.
it's a mockumentary like The Office.
Right.
but it's
Okay.
about vampires,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
both ancient and modern.
Right. Harley, what do you think?
Mine is Mr. Bingley from Pride and Prejudice.
Anybody from Pride and Prejudice, really.
You know, a little bit. Mr. Darcy, I mean, he's so bland, but at the same time, I'm in love with him. But Mr. Bingley specifically, like, he has no thought behind those eyes.
Poor Michael. Not a
There's
thought
nothing
behind
there.
those
We
eyes.
literally could never have a conversation. He's just smiling the whole time. And I'm specifically referring to the movie version of him.
Which
Right.
movie version?
The one with, what's her name?
Keira Knightley?
Yes, that one.
So not the one with zombies then.
There's even another one after that, isn't there?
I think so.
Pride and Prejudice and zombies, and then it wasn't Pride and Prejudice. It was something else, but like vampires or something. It was like something. Sense and Sensibility and Vampires or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
It was another Jane Austen book that they just threw in
Random
a monster. Yeah.
But no, yeah. I see him in the film and I'm like, you boy,
You're
you.
the worst.
Yeah.
I
Like,
hate so much about what you choose to be.
it's not even that I hate him. I just would hate to interact with him.
Yeah.
And for the fact that like somebody married him, oh my God. The white man. But yeah, that's how I feel.
Privilege will get you far.
Facts.
For me, it would be the
Yep.
Lethargarians. The
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Phantom T. You never read Phantom Tollbooth?
No.
You never saw that movie?
No.
Bro, I'm going to need you to step up here. My rec and rev for the week is Phantom Tollbooth. No, so, okay, it's a really long story to get into, but
Is it
there's-
anime?
No, it's a book that you probably should have read in school.
I never heard of
You've never heard of the Phantom Tollbooth. Am I going crazy here? Is this a Mandela effect?
You might be the only one.
Is this happening? Oh my God.
I've never heard this before in my life.
Okay, no. So first of all, go watch The Phantom Tollbooth. There's a movie. You don't have to read the whole book. The book is
Okay.
long. But there's a place called the Doldrums, which
Oh
is
my
like
God.
the most boring place in the world. And there are creatures that live there called the Lethargarians, however you say that. I'm not sure. But they are the epitome of draining, boring, dull, nothing happening. If you're not thinking about things, you end up in this place. And those are the creatures that you're spending your time with, and eventually you can probably become one.
Okay.
So I think that would be the most boring creature.
Well, we'll take your word for it, I guess.
Love Phantom T.
Oh, man.
All right. I think we're going to skip this next question because we are very low on time.
Yeah.
But are we still going to do this next segment?
Just real quick.
Real quick. All right. Who has the best lightsaber? Star Wars continued. Who has the best lightsaber? Go.
I want to go with Ahsoka. I love her dual stuff. It's classic.
The one she had as the Padawan or the curved one she has as an
curved,
adult?
the curve with the
Okay.
white. Yeah.
Yeah, the white bladed curved ones as an adult. I love those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
are great.
those are really cool. I like Darth Maul because of the double-sided.
Yeah, the
Darth
dual.
Maul, that was
Yeah.
life changing as
Yeah.
well. Okay. My favorite, I would say Cal Kestis because I can customize it in the Star Wars Fallen Jedi game.
Mm-hmm.
Or Darth Raven's purple lightsaber.
Yeah.
Super lit. The second person in canon to have a purple lightsaber because Mace Windu was the first one.
Right.
But historically, Darth
Yeah.
Raven's was purple first because he was a Jedi, became a Sith, and then found the balance between the two.
Yeah.
And that's where the purple comes from. It's a Jedi or a Sith using the opposite side's force abilities.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention Tar Vizsla's Darksaber. Classic.
Yep, Tar Vizsla's Darksaber. And finally, I almost refuse to answer this question, but which character in Star Wars, all of Star Wars, is your least favorite?
C-3PO.
You're the worst.
I will
That is horrible,
I will
Harley.
die on this
horrible
hill.
take.
I might be the one to kill you on this hill.
That's fine. Take
Look,
me out.
C-3PO earned his place in our hearts. Anthony Daniels is a national treasure.
I don't completely dislike him. He's annoying. He's just annoying to me. He always has been annoying. I just feel like when I was younger, I would see him and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's a buzzkill in every single form and
You
fashion.
didn't like Tattletales as a kid, did you?
What are you talking about?
Like
What is
people?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You can
Snitches
tell.
get stitches,
You
dude.
can tell.
That's just, you don't do it.
He's not actually a Tattletale, but he gives off Tattletale
Yes.
energy.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay.
So I can't.
I'll allow it. I don't like it.
Like, he's like the guy that you just tolerate in class, but in reality, like, oh my God.
Nobody wants to hang out with him.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll allow it. I don't like it.
Okay.
For me, it's Zero the Hutt, which is Jabba's nephew.
Oh, my
Just
gosh.
anybody in the hut.
Yeah, it's hard to.
I'm down for Jabba the Hutt, but Zero the Hutt, like his voice in the Clone Wars was just nails on a chalkboard to me. It's like the worst parts.
we gotta get on down there.
Hate it. It's the worst parts of the country accent
Yeah.
and like a 1970s Scooby-Doo villain. It's awful. I hate it so
Good
much.
take. Okay, so for mine, I had to think about this, but I genuinely hate seeing this character. Like, just gives me chills every time, and not like an evil way, but I just can't stand him. But you remember in The Force Awakens, the guy who his name is Unkar Plutt, the guy that Rey has to deal with the portions and everything.
Oh.
1/4 portion.
That guy,
Yeah.
it's played by
Simon
Simon
Pegg.
Pegg.
Yep.
But yeah, every time I watch that scene, I'm like,
He's just so
would
gross.
love.
Don't
I would
like
love to
him.
blaster him in the face.
Yeah.
Like that's just the vibes I
That's
get.
also the snitches get stitches thing because he definitely ratted her out.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Screw that guy.
Well, that will be the end of our podcast. Final thoughts, guys. What do we got?
Technology is cool. I'm glad we're moving forward as a civilization. However, it's definitely proven to cause some complications.
Yeah.
So, don't feel ashamed for being a little bit behind the curve because sometimes it just might turn out the best for you.
Nice.
I like that.
I was going to say,
That's real nice.
with every little step forward, you always have to take a quarter step back because there's always something that's going to be wrong. You know what I mean?
Little bugs
Little,
and
yeah.
fixes.
Mm-hmm.
Ghosts in the machine.
If Meta has taught us anything, Facebook and all this technology has taught us anything, it's not always all good. There's some
Sunshine
evil
and
behind some of these
rainbows.
Side note,
things.
we're not even going to talk about it. I'm just going to mention it. Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there you go.
Crazy.
That happened.
Yeah.
Technology.
$44 billion.
Technology is insane. All right, guys. Well, that has been all for the Always More podcast this week. Spotify has a new feature that allows you to rate the pod, so please leave us a 5-star review if you like us. If you don't, just leave.
Just have the day that you deserve.
Have the day you deserve. There you go. Thank you all again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe, leave a rating on your favorite platform, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, at Always More Pod. Tim, where can they find you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Timothy Lichty and on TikTok at Tim Lichty. That's Liechty.
Nice.
I am on Instagram as Captains_CT Ford. On TikTok, I am at Christopher.Lionheart.
On Instagram, you can find me at @WhatHarley, WUT Harley, and on TikTok at HarleyBean.co.
So thank y'all again for listening, for being part of the conversation. And remember, in life, in liberty, and in the pursuits of happiness, there is always more than this. Peace.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Always More podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, share, like, and rate on whatever your platform of preference is. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Always More Pod. If you'd like to submit a question, you can ask us on any of our social media platforms, or you can leave us a voicemail at 254-218-4042. If you'd like to feed into our caffeine addiction as well as support the podcast financially, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/alwaysmorepod. For further information and to contact us, you can email us at alwaysmorepodcast@gmail.com.
Brap, brap.